record. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to do my hair. It is what it is today.
It is what it is Friday.
You know, do you think I'm going to have music by the end of the month?
You said you would, and I trust your word.
You know what? That's one of the 4 agreements, right?
Yes, you know the 4 agreements. Yes, I bought that book when I was going through my divorce.
I'm a huge fan of the 4 agreements. Be impeccable with your word is one translation of the 4 agreements.
Yes, that's very good.
Whenever I see somebody drifting away, getting influenced by some nonsense that they've heard on the Facebook, I say, hey, pump your brakes, think of the 4 agreements, and then I introduce the 4 agreements.
We're agreeing. That's a good one. My thing is, I always say, what's your intention? If you go back to your intention, everything will work out just fine.
All right, we can't tease the 4 agreements without, do you know them offhand?
Of course, I used to know them. Okay, I know. Oh, I'm not even gonna slaughter them. You share them, Tom Wise. You share those 4 agreements.
I think it's really valuable to know the 4 agreements. So it's the images.
Are you
4
pulling
agreements. I'll just do a quick. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Well, we'll see.
Do a quick one, Tom.
The short version of the 4 agreements is be impeccable with your word.
Yes.
Don't take anything personally. You don't know what somebody's going through. They may be taking it out on you because of something else that happened to them when they were a kid. So don't take anything personally. I mean, there are things that you need to take personally. When someone says, you really, it makes me sad when you say things to me. Like, so that type of conversation has to be taken personally. But if somebody cut you off in traffic or somebody's rude to you at the supermarket, please don't take it personally. You don't get an order, something doesn't happen. What am I doing? So always. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just said you've done 2.
Always do your best. I like that. That's, when you got to decide, should I, really do that, or should I take a pass? Always do your best is the best way to think about it. Not that it always happens, but I like that. And the last one is don't make assumptions.
Those are all so good.
Right. And then this ties into how I interpret the person on the other side of my words with friends, because she's an old woman holding dogs. He's a guy with a Trump flag in the back. We can make a few assumptions.
I mean, it happens. Well, I like how we just start out unpacking shit right away. We normally take a second. So
you know what?
It's different.
It is different. You know why that is? Because I don't like when I tune into a podcast and somebody spends 3 minutes adjusting the microphone or adjusting this. I don't know. What day is it? Where am I? What time is it? Like, why couldn't you get your shit together before you decided to inconvenience everybody by asking them to take up, I want to take up your time while you watch me fiddle about for 3 minutes.
It does happen a lot when there's like live Facebook or something. They're like, hold on.
The dog, I got the man, whatever. I'm going to write 3 bills and then I'm going to be back.
Yeah. No. So this is Tom Wise.
And that's my good friend, Melida McKinsey. And you're joining us to unpack some shit.
That's right. What are your topics? Is that bad that I jumped?
Our first topic is talking over each other. Mission accomplished.
We do that, but here's the thing with Zoom, it doesn't allow you because it cuts off. You know what I'm saying? So it makes it harder to do the funny bantering back and forth, right? Because
I don't think there's crossover. It's either the yellow squares on my box or the yellow squares on your box.
Yes.
Right.
See? Like that. So.
Right. What was I going to say?
You were talking about the 4 agreements, how you don't like to wait on people. Right. And then
I've adjusted the camera, and we're going to try to. This is kind of like a good level, I think. And then plus the camera right behind me is you. Right behind the camera is you. So it looks like I'm looking at you, right?
Yeah, it really does.
And then the hairs. Oh, by the way, the hair. It's an interesting transition. I don't know how it is for the ladies. You guys intentionally just let your hair. I'm going to let my hair grow this time until it gets to whatever. But there always seems to be kind of like a middle cycle that has to be suffered through. Like I was enjoying a nice short haircut about 4 months ago. Had the nice Polish lady at Fantastic Sam's cut my hair.
Okay.
And I was like amazing. It's funny. You never know. It's the luck of the draw when you get a haircut. Because I'm going to Fantastic. I'm not spending $87 for a haircut. My budget
Is
is
that what
20.
it costs? Is it really $87?
Not there. It's not.
But I mean, in normal, like,
No. If I go to a high-end barber shop, it's $35. And
okay,
I'd rather pay $18 and then give a $5 or $7 tip.
sure.
You know, with me, it's like
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do this with it anyway and get on to my day. But you do get the occasional really nice haircut, to the fact where I'm walking out thinking, boy, that's a good haircut. And then my kids or my ex say, boy, that's a really good haircut. Doesn't happen all the time. And the
Oh,
last one, the Polish lady, I was like, this is good. Who knows what's going to happen here? I could
yeah.
barely understand what she's saying, even though she was from Chicago. We kind of exchanged because I'm from Chicago. And did you know
Yeah.
Chicago is the second largest population of Polish people in the world outside of Warsaw?
Know that. I did not know that.
All sorts of Polish named streets and things like that. Very in Polish areas, kind of like, instead of Little Italy, there's not really Little Poland, but just an area that's all
Okay.
super neat, super clean, little festivals. It's wonderful.
Nice.
Anyway, she did a great job, and there's no way I don't think I've ever had my hair cut by the same person twice at that.
Yeah. Do you just
So
walk in? You just walk in?
I use the wonderful app now. So I clock in with an app, says 17 minutes. So you walk in at your appointed time, you're next up, whether there's 5 people waiting or not.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, they can't guarantee you that time, but they're going to guarantee you're up next.
Yeah. Women's hair appointments are much more complicated than that.
But I went through that short hair, and then I went through that crazy stage where it's not short, and I was like, I need a haircut badly. And then look at it, it's perfect. So then I trimmed it myself with my beard clippers on the sides, because this is where it gets messy.
Right?
I mean, clearly this is a professional haircut, but that's where it looks the worst, I think. And then it starts getting long on the top. And says, well, I can, comb that back and and live with it for a little bit.
Yeah, you can.
Whew, this is cutting edge,
I know.
controversial conversation.
People are sending in notes. Tell me more. Tell me what is this fantastic sound you speak of?
Yeah, and then I put a little gray in the corners to give me a little gravitas.
As you should. As you should.
So how does a lady decide a haircut, hair color, hair appointment?
It's an emotional experience.
Bring us inside.
No, it's an emotional experience. We have to choose someone we like, that we trust, because historically, people that work at salons really like the scissors and really like to cut. And a woman's fear is that either you'll cut our bangs too short, or something will affect the features of our face. So it has to be someone you get along with, because you spend long periods of time there, and there's always layers. It's like, do you want the shine put on it? Do you want the highlights? Are you just doing the roots? Well, we can do this extra I haven't been to a hair salon since March because of everything that's going on, which is why my hair is purple, because I just started.
Well, that's your natural color.
It's my natural birth color, so I've gone back to that. But yeah, so it's always been very complicated, very expensive.
Oh, it sounds like me going through the car wash. Do I want the carnauba? Do I want the wheels done? Do I want the double wash, double soap? Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
There we go.
You probably do put a lot more thought into your car like we do to our hair, because I don't care about the car wash.
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting thing. I'm always marveled at pricings of things, right? Parking at the Trop, $18, not $15, not $20, but this pull it out of your butt number of $18, right? Then you get the car wash. Standard car wash is $5. Then they have, then you can get the medium grade one for $9, and then the super deluxe is $15. It's like, it's just doing math in your head. It's like, what am I going to get for the extra $10? And I'm not going to get the wax. Well, if you're going to wash the car, you might as well wax it, right? And then the tires have to be done. It's like, you talk yourself up, you talk yourself down. And I wish I just had a standard, like my default setting for warranties. You want this extra warranty? My default setting is no, I do not.
Right.
So that's triggered. You want the warranty for the computer you just bought? I do not. And I'm very comfortable in my head that that's going to be my answer till I take it to the grave. Where do you want the car? Do you want the medium? How are you feel? I feel it's a voting how I'm feeling about myself. Am I worth the $15 wash and wax? Plus, once that money's spent, it's forgotten immediately.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I don't offer a topic I didn't expect, but it's kind of on this thing.
No, it's funny. I was just thinking, between the haircut and the car wash, this is making me think of the topic you raised on Wednesday, which is something like old white guy or something like that. Like
Old
these are
whitey.
these are things that guys will, have serious conversations about. And cool, I don't, and
Right.
it's mostly because I don't care.
Right. Well, it's interesting what you care about, what you don't. If I'm at a bar and I'm, banging on not a lot of drinks, but $12 for a drink, $15 for a
Yes.
drink, $7, whatever. But then I'm rubbing my hands when I'm deciding the $4.29 toothpaste or the $3.99 toothpaste. I'm like scrabbling over a 40 cents, whereas I'm buying drinks like there's no, like I'm not even thinking about it. I know I'm going to spend I'm $50 today.
Do you think we do that with money, though? There are some areas we're very generous. We'll spend a lot. In other areas, we will really contemplate such a small amount because it seems in that particular instance to be a very large amount.
Mathematically, it's 33%. So that's a big decision. Anyway, what are your topics, darling?
Oh, I have so many topics. Okay, the golden buzzer. What could that be about? Today's legacy. What is your subscription? I mentioned that yesterday. When I was a child, an emergency card holder.
Wow.
What?
I love that.
I got up this morning and I had all these, I wrote so many notes. We need to have, I think I need therapy. Or I started writing like,
those are great topics. Hey, Davis wants to come in for 1 minute. We'll give him 5 minutes and we're going to go do our topics, okay?
Sounds good. Yep, let's do this.
All right, so we have the occasional guest, Matt Davis, coming in for some sort of movie trivia usually, and then we're going to go back. We're done with my topics for the day. We're going to hit Melinda's topics. Davis, are you there?
Hello.
Video on, please. There we go.
Hey, there we are.
He is still on vacation. That's ridiculous.
He lives his
Well,
life
somebody's got to do it.
on the island.
Stop.
How are you, Eminem?
I think I'm good. Tom and I were just talking about the fact that does it feel like Friday? We don't know.
Yeah. When you work from home, I've worked from home now for 18 years, so it just it's just another day. Another day in paradise.
Since you work from home, though, do you try to do things to differentiate so well, this feels like a Friday kind of a day?
He and his wife have different positions depending upon the day.
Oh.
Yes, she's on one side of the couch, or I'm on the other side when we watch Netflix.
Yeah, that's not as exciting as I thought.
Is that what you're saying? Okay. All right. Down to business.
Yep.
Let's go.
Okay.
All right. We've talked about movies. We've talked about box office. I thought this time we talk about what happens after the box office. What happens when you want to take that movie home to your wife and children and you can watch them together. Okay. So we're talking about Blu-ray. We're talking about before that DVD, and we're talking about before that Wayback Machine, something called VHS tapes. So the question today is, what movie was the #1 seller across all formats in the United States? So this counts VHS, counts DVD, and Blu-ray sales. So which movie has the largest sales across all formats? Okay, here's the choices. A, March 1995's release of The Lion King.
I was listening to, may I jump in? I'm watching a lot of master classes.
Oh, I've wanted to do that.
Oh, they're really amazing. It's much better than just crazy, crappy TV. You're listening to the people that have done stuff with their lives and are passionate about their things. And I was listening to the man that wrote that opening, right?
The Lion King, right?
The Lion King. Werner something or other. I apologize for not knowing. But he said he wanted to open that movie with that, African man singing the African, whatever the heck he's singing. I mean, it's some foreign language.
Right.
Because he wanted the audience to know immediately, this is not going to be another Disney princess type of movie. This movie is going to be a little bit different. And he wanted to set the setting and trigger your mind for like, oh, all right, we're going somewhere else today with that opening music blast.
I think he accomplished that.
Yeah,
I think he accomplished that.
Sorry about interrupting.
No, not at all. A is The Lion King.
Yes.
B is Titanic.
Oh,
September
by the way,
1998.
Wow.
And C is a more recent flick, Finding Nemo, 2003. Wow. Finding Nemo. So A, The Lion King. B, Titanic. C, Finding Nemo.
You want to break them down, Melinda, or shall I?
Break them down.
Break them down. Go ahead.
I'm not gonna break it down.
Break it
I
down.
don't.
Shit.
I don't think that way. You guys think that way.
All right. Well, let me break it down. Now you got to, since you've had such a long run at VCR, so the older the movie that may, so maybe people buy the VCR, then the DVD comes out, then they buy the DVD or the Blu-ray. So they upgrade as the technology becomes more available. We've certainly done that with our movies with the kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's Lion King, Titanic, and Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo was huge. Titanic was unbelievable. But I don't know that the Titanic is a movie you buy and watch at home. I mean, that's truly a big screen spectacle. Not to say
Hey,
that
I'm gonna watch a bunch of people die. We already know what's gonna happen. But let's watch it anyway.
Oh, I love this part with the door. And she could have made room on that door, by the way. But
so.
anyway,
I'm gonna go with between Lion King and Nemo, and I'm gonna eliminate Titanic, and I'm gonna say, that Nemo's a sleeper. Do you want to make a choice? Go ahead, Melinda. Go first.
Yes, because I have no reason for making this. I'm just going with my gut, and I'm gonna say it's Finding Nemo.
I wanted to say Lion King. I'm glad we're opposite on that. So I'm going to say Lion King and that's my final answer. .com.
okay, so Tom, you've got Lion King. Melinda, you've got Finding Nemo. And by the way, you're tied 1-1 going into this. So this is a big step. Well, in third place from September 1998 was the Titanic.
I am brilliant.
It did a mere $655 million in sales. So a few people took it home. Matter of fact, 30 million units were sold. So 30 million times people
Perfect
said,
analysis.
I want to see that. I want to see those people turn into icicles, right?
This tiny little screen.
In second place.
This is Melinda's choice.
$801 million in sales.
That's some money.
40 million kids loved to watch Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo from 2003. So that means the winner is Tom Wise with The Lion King.
Oh, boy, you've done it again. Old Magoo, you've done it again.
I'm telling you, The Lion King generated $852 million, and that's 47.5 million units of The Lion King have been sold on all three formats. And you were absolutely right. That was the oldest of the three as well.
Yeah, I'm going to argue. What was the difference between sales between 1 and 2?
852 million to 801.
Oh, you were crushed.
So close.
So you were right there. They are actually 1 and 2. Titanic is actually number 5 on the list.
You threw a curveball.
The top 5 are The Lion King, Finding Nemo, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Wow.
Beauty and the Beast, and then Titanic.
It's kids' movies dominate because that's money in the bank that you just put a movie on. You buy yourself an hour and a half of, just drinking on the couch.
Yep, it was The Lion King was 32 million VHS tapes, 11.9 million DVDs, and 3.7 million Blu-rays.
Wow.
Crazy.
Good question. Good, Davis. I wish I had a horn or something.
We go. Let's get Tootie from HSN.
I've got one of those things.
All right. Bring it on. You were Tootie.
Hang on. You two talk. I'm going to go get Tootie.
Oh, we're just going to talk. Okay, so is it because, did Lion King get re-released? You know what I mean? I feel like there was
That's a good point. I never thought about it. It just shows the release date of March 3rd, 1995, so I'm not sure, but that's a good point.
I could be wrong. I feel like there was a re-release of Lion King. I mean, because I was trying to think, like, when kids were watching this, would kids be more drawn to, like, the fun of the fish and Nemo? Or Lion King seems a little bit more scary, right?
Right. A little more intense with Scar. Remember Scar and all that? Were your kids little back then? And did you have little kids back then?
They were little, and we actually, Tom is bringing in a present. What happened?
I don't have Tootie, and I've been issued a Tootie. I just couldn't put my hands on it. But so there's my music. This is my bag of music when we have brunches. Everybody
Nice.
reaches in and gets a musical instrument. So nobody can say, "Oh, I can't play anything." You can play one of these things.
There you
Can
go.
you explain to our audience what a Tootie is, since you guys are on the inner circle of HSN?
A
Yes.
Tootie. Should I give the history of Tootie?
Wow.
I love it. You were there when Tootie was on. I don't think I was.
I tooted many a person. I was, as a backdrop, I was a host at Home Shopping for
That's right.
7 out of 10 years.
Wow.
And in the beginning, there was like a little bike horn. You know, it's a little bike horn, right?
Yeah.
That kids would have it when they were kids. Anyway, when it was a radio show, that there was a woman in a wheelchair that would get on the air and talk to, whoever the host was, maybe Bob Circosta. Bob is a famous name. Bob was one of the original host on the radio before it went on TV. That was back in
The name dropper.
the man has a name. I'm trying to give the history. If I pass out, if I croak today, at least I'll have I'd have put the story behind Home Shopping out there.
There you go.
So the woman, so you'd make a purchase, you'd drive to the radio station and pick it up, right? But they'd want to fill the air with something, so they would gladly take a caller and talk to the callers. Well, hey, Sally, why did you buy that? Blah, 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 right? So at the end of the conversation, the woman in the wheelchair said, "Hey, I want to say thanks, and I'm going to say thanks by giving you a toot on my horn, like, hey, how you doing? Beep, beep, So the host of the show, as this went on 6-7 times, which is it was cute and cute. Everybody loved it,
Yeah, people love it, sure.
The host brought his own horn. So now she didn't know this. She gave him a toot, and then he gave her a toot, and thus the toot was born.
I did not know the whole part of that. I knew that it was a host thing that somebody you guys used to take, what, 7 calls an hour or something?
I don't want to be, no, we used to have to take 12 calls an hour, and people would ask, then people started asking for a toot. On the radio show, they'd say, hey, how about a toot for me, you son of a, and then we would give toots out, and then that transferred over to the show, the live TV show, and people say, hey, whatever, and then the toot was actually eventually killed, but we used to do, Tootie's specials, and Tootie's was the name of the
Tootie's was the cafeteria. Yeah, the cafeteria at HSN was the Tootie's. But
you used to have little Tootie buttons. You could put a button on your lapel.
See,
that's nice.
I still say we could do so many segments on behind the scenes. There's so many things I think people would find fascinating on live television, what happens behind the scenes, because a lot really does.
We've got a lot of stories, don't we, between us? That's for sure.
At least 4. Well, Davis, you've done it again. We thank you for joining us. I'm going to give you not a toot, but a little bang.
All right. I like getting banged. Thanks.
Just got banged. Happy Friday.
Woohoo! Now Friday is something special.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Matt.
See you next time. Bye.
He lets himself out. I like that.
All right. I like that too. Banging Friday.
Stacy Holloman, this is her favorite. She always wants the avocado. I'm tagging Stacy.
Okay. Tagged and tagged. Well, congratulations on your win. You're much better with numbers and logic than I am. I will give that to you.
I hope you enjoyed your singular win way back 3 weeks ago or whenever the hell it was.
Coming right out of the gate, I enjoyed it because I'm a lucky person. I mostly win due to luck, not to logic, so I'm cool with it. I'll win the next time.
Yeah. You don't have an Abraham Lincoln or a George Washington in your pocket that would, also agrees with you about whether you're going to win or not? Like a dollar bill or a $5 bill? I'm just kidding. We can talk about it later.
I'll bet. I'll bet you $1 that the next time I'll win just based purely on luck, not on logic or intellect.
Right,
totally luck.
At least you know where your skill set lies.
Yeah, I do.
What was the first one? Golden showers?
I knew that's what you would hear. It's actually called the golden buzzer.
Well, call it whatever you like, darling. I'm still going to only pay $50.
You know, I knew when I wrote this down this morning that it's something that you would probably lean to because you would think it was very sexy. Really quickly.
You know what? Don't make any assumptions. What happened to the 4 agreements? They're in and they're gone.
I didn't say I was going to adhere to the 4 agreements.
You assumed I think it was sexy, and you assumed you were dragging me in and drawing me in on something.
What was I right?
Wow, what was it called? Golden buzzer?
Golden buzzer. I mean, come on.
How many times do you say golden in anything?
Not often, actually.
Golden.
I don't often use that as a term, like this is a golden moment or a golden opportunity. I don't often say it.
You triggered me successfully. I grant you that.
Triggered Tom.
Mission
All right, Trigger Friday. Okay, so the golden buzzer is so I watched a sad movie last night that's one of my cousins recommended. It was a lovely movie, and I'm glad I watched it, but it kind of broke my heart, right? And it's called Racing in the Rain on HBO. And it broke my heart. It's about a movie from a dog's perspective, which is heartbreaking, right? And they talk about their masters and people in their life. So I was heartbroken. Yes? No?
I said, yeah, a dog hates to bury his master.
Well, it wasn't about that so much as the dog perspective was very different than the human's perspective. And it was kind of heartbreaking to hear the dog's thoughts. Anyway, beautiful movie. But when I'm feeling, a little downtrodden, I need a pick-me-up. I need something to help me out. Normally, I travel so much, I go out in the world and try to refresh myself. But the world's a little bit different right now. I'm working from home. And I thought, oh, okay, I need a pick-me-up. I need something. So what I do when I'm at home, it's supposed to storm today, can't really get outside. I go online and I go to America's Got Talent Golden Buzzer.
Oh.
And I'll tell you why. Because every golden buzzer moment is a moment where someone shines. It's so spectacular. It's so lovely to see people that are grateful, that are joyful, the audience, the energy. So when I need a pick-me-up, I go to the golden buzzer on America's Got Talent.
Oh, is that nice? It's because I mean, I think I've maybe seen it a little bit. And so one of the judges can reach over and hit the golden buzzer and bypass the voting system, and they get like one of those a show or whatever they're going to get. Is it one a show? Do you know what it is?
I don't know what the limitations are, but I know each host can only give out maybe one or so during a season. So it's a very limited.
Oh, the whole season.
I think so. They're limited. They can't just give them out. You know what I mean?
You're coming in with a half a bag of information.
I don't give a shit. That's what I do. That's all I got. Because I don't watch the show on a regular basis.
Right.
I don't like to watch the anguish of people that suffer or that get told, they're not great. But the golden buzzer, if you just pull it up online, those are always a guaranteed pick me up, a guaranteed and I cried, but it was a good cry, and I got rid of the sadness from last night of the movie.
I remember. Well, that's nice. Well done. Thanks for sharing that. I remember sitting in the couch 5-6 years ago with my then girlfriend, right? And we had a very nice relationship, but she loved those competition shows, those singing competition shows.
Sure.
And it's like, but she was so convinced that, this person's going to make his mark on, country music will never be the same with this. I'm like, well, you may want to temper that a little bit. I mean, he hasn't really won the competition yet, and he's still in. There's 9 people to go. And
it's a very tough.
It's a very. I mean, how many of those folks out of how many of those competitions over 10 years had they been going out? American Idol started 10, whatever, thousands of people, and maybe they produced 5 people you might know.
Yeah.
Not 10.
Right.
Yeah,
it's really tough. But I love the magic of seeing when people have their moment, and everybody else in the room feels the moment. It's so beautiful. So that's the golden buzzer.
No, I love it. I mean, Kelly Clarkson, she was the first, and she's had an amazing career. And who's the
Carrie Underwood?
Carrie Underwood. She's had a great career. And you think about it, that Carrie was so shy and
so
couldn't
sweet.
figure stuff out. So sweet. And all of a sudden, she's a powerhouse.
Yeah.
And a lot of talent. I remember Reuben won, but then Clay became the more famous one.
Yeah.
Clay Aiken he ran for Congress or something. But he's also, I saw him.
Yeah.
I saw him in Spam a lot in Tampa.
Oh, you See?
Many years ago. Many years ago.
You never know. You never know when your golden moment is going to be. And you know what? Even if it's just that moment, how wonderful to have that.
Oh, it's absolutely, and I so encourage everybody to get out of your comfort zone, because you'll never have those moments unless you do something you're a little bit uncomfortable with. So
Yeah.
why not? Because it's interesting, especially as I'm getting a little bit older, or at 60, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, you're 10-year, if you're lucky, window to go climb a mountain, perhaps, or Galapagos Islands, or Machu Picchu, or travel somebody. It's starting to shrink. I'm lucky I'm healthy, but to do it, produce an infomercial, or to bring in a new product, or write a movie, produce something, those windows are almost absolutely closed. And you want to be on your deathbed? I mean, that's usually the number one thing that people regret on their deathbed: things they did not do, chances they didn't take.
Yeah. And it is scary to take a risk. A lot of my friends will say, oh, I'm scared. I'm scared most of the time.
Look at me
I'm
dead.
scared most of the time with most of the work that I do. I'm always nervous. I'm always a little jittery. It's never fully comfortable for me. I'm always very concerned about the outcome of it. But that's part of the thrill of it as well, is getting on the other side of it and going,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, I love having, because my story of getting hired at Home Shopping is amazing. And
Yeah.
I tell it to my children, especially, because it's a story of risk taking and
Yes.
following something you like to do. Not that job is the be all and end all, but it was probably, it was going to be that versus literally driving a truck, or,
Right.
Nothing wrong with driving a truck or selling fax equipment, but it's been a fun run. I mean, I've been doing it in business for 30 years.
Yeah, no, exactly. Taking risks are so important. And if you fail, it's okay. I think we've been taught that if you fail, it's actually a failure. It doesn't mean that it's a failure. It means you learned something. I've learned something from all my big, horrific mistakes. I've made a lot of them. And I think that's what surprises, some of my friends when we talk about chances we've taken. They're like, oh, but, it didn't work out. Yeah, it didn't. That's okay, because then I learned stuff. I went another direction.
That's right. Guess what happens if you don't do anything? It doesn't work out.
It doesn't work out if you do nothing.
Yeah, all those things you didn't work out either. I've been dragging this thing around for 5 years. I'm getting more and more excited. Tractor Supply is finally going to take it in online. I was over at Tractor Supply yesterday, picking up my horse feed, and I brought the cart in rather than use their cart.
Okay.
And the cashier sees me bringing this thing, and she goes, "What's that?" I go, "Well," I said, we're going to put this online. So I gave her the quick demonstration. I put it down, started rolling it as a dolly. She said, "Wow, that's nice."
Yeah.
And then I picked up the handle. She's like, "Oh my gosh, that's really handy." Then I turned it into a hand truck, and she's like, her head did a Steve Martin 360.
I know.
And then I turned it into a ladder, and she nearly passed out. She goes, "Oh my gosh, when are we selling that? Can we have it? Is that ours? Can we have that?" I said, "It's coming." And she goes, "Does the manager know you're selling this?" I go, "I think she may be. Let me get her on the phone." So she pages the manager. She tells me to meet the manager at customer service. And it's funny. And then there's another assistant manager that I've been kind of chatting with over the months as I've been trying to get it into Tractor Supply. She met me there at the customer service desk, and she saw me with the cart. She goes, I go, "Hey, I'm supposed to see the manager." "Oh yeah, let me get her. So then they bring the manager over, and she's nothing but business. She's kind of gruff. "I don't have time for this nonsense."
Oh.
And I know I'm on the clock. And I'm giving her the quick pitch. She goes, "We can't sell anything here unless it's already in the system. Why don't you take your box of pencils and go back outside?" I said, No. I'm in the process. I'm just getting into the system. I've been approved. We're going to go tractorsupply.com. They won't put me in the store yet, but they're going to put me on the system. And she's like, "Oh, well, let me know when that happens." Blah. I said, May I show you the product?" And she's like, "I've only got a couple of minutes." I said, "I'll need 15 seconds.
Right?
And so I was doing the demonstration. Dolly, she's interested. Trolley, where the hand comes up, she's like, "Huh, that's kind of nice." Then the hand truck, she's like, "Wow, that's pretty." Then the stairs, "Oh my God, when are we getting that in?"
Don't you just love the naysayers? I have a
love it.
real struggle when people just are in the box of, well, we've never done that before. That's not the way that it's done. I can't deal with those people very well, because how small is your world that you're not willing to open up to things that you've never seen before? And
It's
just because it's being done
insane.
that way, it doesn't mean it's the right way.
It's insane. I try to tell the home shopping when I'm on. Whoa, just a 7.7. Don't worry about it.
Yep.
I tell the people at home shopping to introduce me in a different way. I said, don't just say, here's another something. I said, this is the most innovative item to hit houseware, hardware category in 25 years. So that's going to, because people have never seen anything like that.
Yes. It's
Probably.
very important.
All right. One more topic, darling, then we'll call it a week.
Topic.
We're way over our time. Davis.
I know that we are. Since we haven't done any sexy talk, here's a topic that I wrote down that I didn't say. Love versus lust. Let's do that since we haven't done any sexy talk. Love versus lust. I mean, I think we all know what that is, but do we always, when we're in the middle of it? Have you confused the two before? Have you ever been in lust? Maybe try to convince yourself.
I mean, I think the most wonderful thing is to be lustful after some person you love, right?
Oh, you gave the girl answer.
We did a DNA, and I'm like 93% woman. I just wear the beard just to protect people. What's that?
Of course, that's a great answer, but I think we all know that when dating starts, we come from a position of lust because that's what we see first. And I think there is a tendency to get drawn into the lust and maybe get confused that there's more of a relationship than there is because the physical is so good, right?
Of course, absolutely.
Has it ever happened?
Sometimes you flip. Sometimes you start being lustful because, I mean, attraction is what keys everything.
Yeah.
I doubt I can fall in love with a person that I don't feel attracted to.
Of course.
In that way, it's like, it would be very difficult. You had to be a long-term, like we worked at the library together for 6 months or 3 years. And I finally saw her in a different light. And
yeah.
Who doesn't have a peg leg in a patch? I could love this person.
Well, I think I don't know, but I think based on my history and my relationships, it seems like women fall in love quicker, right? So I think it's easier for women to convince themselves in a lustful relationship that it's love. I think men are slow to arrive to the love part. I think men are more hesitant to do the love.
I've ruined myself for lustful relationships. I've been in relationships where I've had a nice, solid connection with the person.
Yeah.
And then we would make sweet love.
Oh, and then no.
And then once you do that, you don't want to do it the other way. Although I'm not being an angel. I mean, of course I have lustful, desires, but that's I'm not satisfied by that anymore. But I'm not turning down a hand job either from the coffee server.
Well, and there's nothing wrong with being in lust as long as you know what it is.
Right.
The person's not being hurt and they don't think it's a love thing. I just think that in dating, they get confused a lot because physical attraction is so important to us all. And being physical, there's nothing better than having a healthy sex life.
I agree. All right, you're on a date. It's a third date with a guy. May I ask a question?
Yes.
And you're not ready for sex. Okay. But he says, and you like him. He seems nice. He goes, would it be possible for me to get a hand job? Have you ever had anybody just flat out ask you for a sexual favor like that?
Oh, sure. I mean, I'm a woman.
Oh,
hello.
Sure. I've never asked anybody.
Men ask women sexual favors. They sometimes they'll act like they're joking. To see. Yes.
Well, yeah, you throw up a trial balloon, but would you ever say, I wouldn't have sex with him, but I'll give him a hand job?
That seems a bit degrading.
Well, I'm asking for a real answer. Has that ever occurred?
Not in that context. No. Where I was thinking about having a relationship, we hadn't had sex, and he asked me for a hand job. That's not occurred. I have been in relationships where maybe we were going somewhere and someone didn't have time for sex, and they asked me if I would give them a quick blowjob. What? I'm sorry.
No, this is wonderful. This is good sexy talk. Go on.
I'm sorry, have we met? Do you know me? Is this now? If I were to offer it to him, that's a whole different scenario. Like, hey, you know what? Let's just do this little thing. That's different if I were to offer it. If he's like, hey, we don't have time for sex, but if you could just blow me real quick, then I'm going to probably hate you the rest of the night. It's going to be an argument. It's not going to go well. And if you've met me, you would know not to pull that stunt. But I think, men are optimistic about their penis, and they think that we get quite excited when they offer it to us.
May I ask a question? Another question, a follow-up.
Sure.
Does the qualification of a quick blow job or shorthand job versus long drawn out, does that make any difference with your decision?
Oh shit. I mean, at this point in time, I'm gonna say no, because it's still the degree.
So I shouldn't even bother putting an adjective in it. Like, this won't take long to describe this.
I mean, if you're gonna lose all the way. Just go.
I need a long, drawn out, painful, excruciating.
That is, but we've all had that too, where the long drawn out, hand job or blow job, like, oh, it's bad for everybody. Nobody really needs that either.
What's the ideal length?
Oh, well, I don't know if it's a time thing as much as it is in the moment thing, right? You can have a longer drawn out if it's a great moment and great things are happening. But if it's like a wonka, okay, then
if I look over and I see that look on your face, it's taking longer. It's like you want to add another day to detention? Is that what you're gonna do? You want more day? We can do another day. It's up to you.
Yeah, that's, and if you're in a great relationship, you can work that stuff out, quite honestly. If you're in a great relationship, you could make a joke about having a quick blow job.
Right. So you've never accommodated a request.
I didn't say I've never accommodated a request. I've never accommodated a degraded request where it was like, I can't take care of you, but take care of me. If it feels submissive, I can't do it.
Okay, I understand. Of course. Yeah. It's all in context.
I mean, I can do it. I won't.
It's like the handsome man talking to the secretary. Oh, look at Billy was flirting with me today. And the ugly guy says the exact same thing to the handsome guy. Call human resources. He's harassing me.
Yeah, that's a whole other show, but yes.
That's the harassment show?
Harassment,
nothing to me.
It's kind of like Hot Jesus. Of course I'm going to take candy from Hot Jesus. He's hot. But if a homeless guy offered me candy, I wouldn't tell anybody about it, but I would run away. I wouldn't eat it. So.
All right. Well, on that happy note. Sorry, homeless man.
Yeah, sorry.
My name's Tom Wise.
I'm Melida McKinsey.
I want to say, when I say that, I almost pretend like it's a made-up name. Tom Wise. That's made up, right?
It's a great stage name.
That's another one in the can, and you've been
unwrapping some shit with us.
There you go. And then we'll see you on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Yes. Oh, by the way, I think we've got a couple of winners. Don't forget about our contest. Share us on Facebook, and you'll automatically be entered into a contest for a free What a Light. We'll have to figure out how to get it to you. I think it costs about $9 to ship it, but it's a $30 item. I think we have two contenders right now. Well, we know who they are. All right. God bless you.